Margin Satrapi was born in 1969 in Rasht, Iran. She was an only child of secular Marxist parents. She grew up in Tehran, where she attended the Lycée Français. After the Iranian Revolution in 1979, her family's Western way of life drew the attention of Iranian authorities, and by 1984 her parents decided to send her to Austria to attend school. A failed relationship there exacerbated her sense of alienation and contributed to a downward spiral. That left her homeless and using drugs. She returned to Tehran at age 19, studied art, and after a short-lived marriage, moved back to Europe in 1993. In France, she earned a degree in art, and by the mid-90s, she was living permanently in Paris. Since she lives in Paris, she writes her books in French, and then they are translated and released in other countries later. Persepolis was published in France in 2 volumes, in 2000 and 2001. The first volume won 2 of Europe's biggest awards for comic books and graphic novels. The Angoulême International Comics Festival's Coupe de Coeur Award and the Prix de Lyon from a Comics Association in Belgium. When it appeared in the United States in 2003, it earned an endorsement from leading American feminist Gloria Steinem. She used graphic novels to tell autobiographical stories with political facets. She has also become a spokeswoman for greater freedom and a voice against war and for cross-cultural understanding. Margin. Very religious, believed in justice, against the regime and the difference between social classes. Wanted to demonstrate, was a book lover influenced by her parents and grandma, fight for her ideals, mid-class family divided between God and political assets, fighter, rebel, blunt. Taji, mother. Westernized, believe in freedom, open-minded, okay with marriage choices, go to demonstrate daily, descendant of the emperor, daughter of the prince, hard childhood, believe in justice, defend women's rights. There was a time where she was so shocked that nothing surprises her, permissive, intelligent. Father, Evie. Westernized, believe in freedom, open-minded, okay with marriage choices, go to demonstrate daily and took photos. Literate, aware of the situation and they knew everything that happens, believe in the power of the demonstrations, engineer, played the sharp, was very optimistic. Grandmother, supportive towards Margie, had to live in poverty, always covering everyone's back, very innocent, picked jasmine flowers to put in her breast so that she could smell nice. After 1979, there were several changes in Iran. There were political prisoners, families were leaving the country because of the regime, revolutionaries were executed and murdered, people were judged by the way they dressed, and that way could be a reason for being raped. Universities closed down as a result of getting to the true path to Islamism. People have to lie to not be punished. They have to maintain appearances. Parties were restricted as the nail polish and Western products. The second Arab invasion started with MiGs that bombed Tehran. Then Iraq bombed the refinery of Abadan. Every border town was targeted by bombers. Most of the people living in those areas had to flee northward. There were refugees as a result. There were empty supermarkets and gas stations. People started getting rude. There was prostitution coming from the south. There was death around, martyrs and flagellation. Schools pretended to change child minds within an eye blink, but the influence of secular schools resulted in rebellion, and mother parents supported the kids. Religion was immoral, trying to recruit poor children from the front by promising the keys of paradise. The system, as the police, was corrupt. Ideals were enough for a window washer to become director of a hospital. As a consequence of bombs, people had to build shelter in buildings. Since Iran refused peace, the war was worse. mainly the internal war. Kids were executed and the borders closed. That was the open door for black market. But in terms of people, they were dying as a result of no treatment and implications of a closed border, including devaluation of the tumens. Persepolis tells the story of the growing up of margin satrapy and her child's eye view of the changes in her country, showing the Islamic Revolution and its effects on Iranians. A life experience during the revolution while she was discovering the reality in which she was immersed. An experience based through what she could hear from her parents' conversations, changes experienced after the Islamic Revolution.